everyone. It's been quite a while actually since I last uploaded a video. We're still in these times of turmoil. Could be turmoil. We could see it as turmoil, or I choose to see it as sort of changes that if we stop and think about them and we hit our pause button, they could be changes that are going to be good, changes that we haven't had time to implement before. So I'm just wondering how you're all possibly seeing current situation across the world, across the country. We all know that everyone's got a thought, an idea about what should happen next, when it should happen, who should do it, who can we blame, who don't we blame. I would say I wanted to look at putting something together like this for all of us to be open and honest and upfront and have a safe place to share when we may not be doing things, feeling things and coping with things as well as we'd like to let others think we were or not. The last couple of weeks have been, I would say for me, another transition. So transitions are transitions. So within a very short space of time, as a family, we made some big decisions. For those of you that know, so Xavier, my husband, decided to take that big step outside of regular paid job that also entailed a house that came with the job. So that was our home for 15 plus years, where our children grew up, and where he was held in a very high regard in respect of how good he is at what he does. But he needs someone else to let him know that, but he needs to find that out for himself. And yes, courageous decision to say, okay, I'm ready to move on and try something new. Who could have foreseen all the changes? So finding a new home, which we really like, at quite short notice, moving within quite a short time scale, and just in time before the lockdown, basically the Friday before, this stuff got really serious. So we got lucky and was moved without too much setbacks, and that all happened nicely. All the meetings planned for him to set up projects didn't happen, but that's okay, that'll happen soon. Then things continuing to change, so just getting settled into my new job and getting familiar and starting to go, oh, I can nearly do this. Get redeployed to a new environment, new learning, new people, and going, so adjusting. So that's quite a number of big transitions in a very short space of time. And that can sometimes feel unsettling and scary and all of those things, which, yes, experienced all of those things. So I was looking at, whilst thinking about that, I was looking at the little postcards that Kim put onto our Facebook group, and with some that I did within the wellbeing group at work prior to being redeployed to another area. And myself and Kim have talked about using 4Cs, and you've heard me mention it a few times. It's an interesting concept, and it's Kim is probably better to explain its background, because its theory and background comes from counselling and psychology, etc. And it was devised by Betty Lou Bettner and Amy Lou, who worked out the crucial C's, and these are things we need to have, and this is my explanation of it. So these are things that we need to have in place on a daily basis for us to feel that we're doing okay, and we need one in place with another to enable us to just do what we need to do. So these are, and it doesn't have to, they are in order, but connect. So what happens if we don't feel connected? How do we feel if we don't feel connected? And you might go, oh, what does that mean? What it means is that when you go somewhere, it doesn't matter where it is. It can be a new work environment, it can be a new relationship, it can be, for children, it can be starting a school, it can be going outside the family home, being somewhere different. It's about having that connection with others, with anything, with the environment, with other people, with other humans. It's that sense of belonging. Do I fit? How do I fit? What's my part in all of this, and how do I make this connection? So we can overthink it. So I like to, if I use myself as an example, it sort of then takes the focus off it. Everyone doesn't have to feel they have to have something to share. So going into another new environment, having just started in a new environment, and actually most of last year, several different new work environments particularly, and stepping out of comfort zones and into all these other zones, trying to make a connection with people that you're working with, people that you're going to be spending probably most of your day with, more than you are at home with your family, and being able to be yourself and not adapt so much that you just become part of something, the environment, that doesn't feel right for you. So how does that make you feel, that sense of belonging? So one of the things, and I'm looking at the small little postcard that, mine's in black and white, that Kim has kindly put together. So connecting with others, does it have to be difficult? I hear you say. So stop and think about ways you can connect. What's going to work for you? It can just be as simple as a smile, a nod of the head, a sort of a look. I can see where you're coming from when you see somebody else maybe not doing okay, but they may not want to have a conversation or engage in communication with you. So if you're feeling like, I don't belong, I don't feel like, and even sometimes it can be in your regular environment, because the environment at the moment is changing on a regular basis, that you're just not having a great day, and for some reason you don't feel that connection, you're just not feeling it for yourself and with others. So it can be something as straightforward as, or making a cup of tea for someone. It's the best way to connect. Would you like a cup of tea? You don't even have to have a conversation. The person says yes, great. You're making a cup of tea, you're handing the cup of tea, you've made that connection. Even if they say no, you still made a connection by offering. Okay, so that's one of the 4 C's. So the second C is, how do you feel capable? Capable. Capable is very much about success or failure, which I don't like to use those words. Did I achieve or didn't I achieve something? How does that make me feel about that? Do I feel that I'm incapable of performing such and such a task? yes, I can relate to that one quite a lot. I think quite often I'm not able to do that. I don't think I can achieve that, so I have to make sure I work doubly hard. And there's all sorts of reasons probably why that happens, but it's something that I know I work on round the clock all the time. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes I'm like, not again. Okay, so how again do we reframe it from being I should be able to do X, Y, Z? Okay, so we can go, what did I achieve today? Smallest achievement. Did I get up out of bed, wash my face, get dressed? Each little step counts. All of those are sense of achievement, and it gives us that feeling of I am capable of getting myself up out of bed and doing. So try and use some reframe around feeling capable. Okay, so 3 is, what do you do to count? So far we've got connect, we've got capable, we've got count. So how do we count? How do we feel that what we have to contribute counts to others, counts to us, counts to what we need to get done, what we may need to achieve in any given 24-hour day? Again, reframe. So we're going to reframe it. So does it have to be grand gestures? Does it have to be wild and wacky to show that we are there, to show that we have been able to contribute something? If you can, and if it's right, yes. But if it's too difficult and unachievable, and you're not sure you can manage it and want to, but you do it anyway, think about in the day, what have you done that could have made a difference to someone else's life? Could be you just went, I really like those earrings you're wearing today. They look really great. Tell me about them. It could be, oh, I like what you've done with your hair. Or it could be, have you had any food today? Have you been able to eat? I've recently come across someone who contributes that a lot, will always check in that whatever they're eating, it doesn't matter what they're eating, if it's a small amount, a large amount, they will offer to others. That's everything. That is that connect. That's, I like to feel I count, but I want you to count too. I don't think that individual realises what a positive impact they have by doing that. You can really tell that what they do is they talk about where they bought the product, how they bought the product, and I bought it because I'd like to share it with others, and I want to make sure that you know about this, and you may end up, you want to buy this product, and it's really good for this and it's good for that. What it does is it really initiates a lot of conversation about that food. But what it really is doing is it's making connections. It's letting everyone be involved, and it makes everyone feel like, oh, I actually feel like I have made a difference in someone's life because I actually just told them about this product that they've never seen before. And it saved them some money, but it also at the same time it tasted good. And when people are concerned about their calorie intake or healthy eating for all sorts of reasons, they feel like they've made a difference because they've shown somebody something different. That's just an example I've picked up. The fourth one is courage. It's a big one, isn't it? So courage, you look at encourage. If you want to encourage somebody to take part in a small group with you and sit and chat, eat a cup of tea or telephone call or WhatsApp message, any which way you can to reach out and communicate. Sometimes for some people, just stepping out of their house and going to work requires an enormous amount of energy and an enormous amount of courage to just do it and turn up and say, here I am, and smile. And behind that and inside could be a whole host of other things going on. I'm sure we can all relate, and we've all been there. And we just get on. What we don't say to ourselves is, you know what, that took a lot of courage. That took every ounce of my energy to do that today. So, what have you done? What have you done today? Again, bring it down, reframe. Let's always shrink things. Let's not overly think all of these, that this is what we have to do. Okay, these are things that are good for us to have in place on a daily basis, because if one is slightly off, it's likely the others are going to be slightly off too, but it doesn't mean we can't function. It just means we have to adapt, reconsider, reframe and rethink how we make it work for us as individuals. So again, like I say, the everyday courage that we need, it's not about we entered a battle and we were courageous enough to do X, Y, Z. It could be that we had the courage to stand up for another person that we may have seen mistreated, where they've said, I'm not sure, I want to say no, I can't do this or I can't do that, and these are my reasons, and they can't actually do it. And you may be able to step in and say, oh, I could do that instead of you, and you go and do this for me. It's having the courage to stop, pause, and say, I just don't feel great today. So if you don't mind, I'm just gonna not do a lot. That requires quite a lot of courage to do that. If you're in your workplace, tricky one. You're in your workplace, you have a bit of a wobble. You got there in the morning, didn't feel you had a connection, you're not sure what was going on, there's something happening, there's something amiss, you don't quite know, but for some reason you go, I don't feel like I connect. So if I don't feel like I connect, I'm not sure if I remember how to do what I did yesterday, even though I know I do it every day, but for some reason today I'm finding this really hard. So your capable is a little bit off. You're just like, not sure, just going to have to check in with someone. Then you go, so if I'm not feeling capable, if I'm not connecting, how will I make a difference today? How will I, in my job, be able to make a difference? And that happens to all of us. What we then do, but we don't give ourselves credit for, we do get through the day, and we do get all the things done that we thought we couldn't do, and we do make lots of connections. And because we're looking at this as healthcare workers and education and everyone that's included and has got life going on around them, what we do is we find the courage. We find the courage to just do. And what we also find the courage to do is we find the courage to make sure others are okay too. And we start to tighten up our 4Cs. We put our 4Cs back in place. They're a bit wobbly, but they're there. So that's the C's, but we can do more on that. And I think Kim is going to be doing a bit more in depth, and I'm not going to say better because that's not what it's about, but we will join you soon with some more. Let me know what you think, and if it doesn't make sense, send me a message. Okay, bye.